Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the A segment of episode 45 of The Loud House, future tense. We begin this segment with the Loud siblings having fun and the Loud parents are taking care of some weeds. Suddenly, they see a new family has now taken residence in a house that once belonged to the Crowley family. We get a quick glimpse of the new family as they're driving by in their vehicle. So we have a husband, a wife, and 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls. And they all have these big smiles on their faces. They're even described by some of the Loud siblings as perfect. And the Loud parents decide they should take a break from taking care of those weeds so they can go greet their new neighbors. So Lynn Sr. and Rita pay the house a visit, and we get to meet the Yates family. That's their last name. The husband is Bumper Sr., and the wife is Jancey. And Lynn Sr. and Rita are surprised to see that they've already unpacked all their belongings in the new house. It looks very clean, in fact. And Bumper Sr. and Jancey say that they like to encourage their kids to be well-rounded. Yeah, they do that drawing a circle in the air gesture when they say well-rounded. And we actually do get to meet the kids, the Yates kids. Their names from oldest to youngest are Beatrix, Belle, Bumper Jr., and Bo. 3 of the 4 Yates kids are voiced by Stephanie Shea. Bumper Jr. is the only one not voiced by her. And the credits made an error with naming 2 of the Yates kids, the Yates boys, in fact. Bumper Jr. was accidentally credited as Bo, while Bo was accidentally credited as Bo Jr. So that's a little heads up for anyone looking in the credits. But in any case, we see that the Yates kids have quite a lot of extracurricular activities. And Bumper Sr. and Jancey explain that they want to make their kids well-rounded because it's a very competitive world out there and they want them to have successful futures. And this leads Lynn Sr. and Rita as they're walking back home after their visit with the Yates family. They think that they're failing their kids because they think that their kids aren't well-rounded. So they start to have the Loud siblings do all sorts of various tasks, objectives, except for Lily since she's just a baby. So they have Lori and Lenny take some SAT tests. They want Luna to speak more formally or properly because of all her slang and her casual manner of speaking. And they have Luann intern at the mayor's office. We don't get to meet the mayor though. They try to make Lynn more academic. They have Lucy join a basketball team to inspire working with a team. They have Lana go to finishing school. They have Lola work at a soup kitchen. And they have Lisa take an art class where she makes ceramic bowls, ceramic cups, ceramic gravy boats. You get the idea. So what does that mean for Lincoln? He actually doesn't have to go anywhere. He could read comics, in fact, but he finds out that they're educational comics. Still, he lucked out compared to his sisters, at least, besides Lily. And so they have him take care of this during the weekday, and now it's Saturday, so the Loud parents think, okay, it's time to have fun. But they see the Yates family are heading off to do some community service, all in the name of making their kids well-rounded. So this inspires Lynn Sr. and Rita to also do community service. So the Loud family are all on a highway or like or like they're by a highway where they're picking up the trash. You know, they have those sticks to pick them up and put them in bags. You know what I'm talking about. And they think, okay, we can take a break now, but we have three different instances. Like Lynn Sr. runs into Bumper Sr. at one point. Rita runs into Jancey at one point, and then the third time they actually saw on TV because of a special news bulletin that interrupted a program of the Yates family continuing to do all sorts of different extracurricular activities. Like they go to educational places like the opera, for example, or they're saving an endangered turtle. So they gotta save an endangered turtle too. But in the Loud family's case, it's a snapping turtle, and understandably so. They don't want to lose their fingers around a snapping turtle. So they keep doing all of these activities in the name of making their kids well-rounded, but eventually when they decide, okay, they can take a break now, why don't we go get some ice cream, or why don't we go see a movie, they're saying to the Loud kids, but they've lost all interest in all fun things because it won't make them well-rounded. And that's when the Loud parents realize they're failing their kids because of going too extreme with the well-rounded objective. So what happens is they call their kids out to head outside, and they tell them to just have fun, just to be kids. And at first, the Loud siblings are weary that this might be a trick, but the Loud parents admit that they went too overboard with trying to make the kids well-rounded. They acknowledge that those activities are important, but they have plenty of time to take care of that. Since they're still kids, they should enjoy being kids, and they shouldn't forget the present in the name of preparing for the future. So, yeah, it works out. The Loud siblings are back to having fun again, and the Loud parents are proud of themselves for realizing this before it's too late. Suddenly, they see the Yates family walking by. They're preparing for another community service activity, I believe it is. And they question what the Loud family have planned, but the Loud parents say they're going to have fun. This confuses the Yates parents because they don't see what the purpose of that is. And the Loud parents explain that while it is a competitive world out there, it makes sense to have their kids unwind so they don't overwork themselves or stress themselves out, and having fun's a good way to unwind. The Yates parents actually admit they never took that into consideration and think, yeah, maybe it's okay to have fun. Granted, they give their kids 7 minutes worth of fun, but it's a start. And the segment ends with the Yates parents. Apparently, they're interested in watching the same stuff as the Loud parents, and they agree to watch a program they all like with the Loud parents. So that's how we end the segment. Now, I enjoyed this segment because it had I did like the lesson of this particular segment, and it is something I've seen some people I know in real life that struggle to. It's about like the importance of the passage of time. In the case of the segment, it was trying to get across the point that while preparing for the future is important, don't be so fixated on the future that you don't enjoy the present. And that is a good lesson. And that applies too with the past and the present too. Like I've seen instances where they're like, I've known people who are like, oh, it's in the past, it doesn't matter, or oh, it's in the future, it doesn't matter right now, and it's like in the case of the past, you shouldn't hold on to the past, you shouldn't dwell on the past, but you shouldn't forget the past either. It's still important even if you shouldn't dwell on it. And the same with the future. It's good to prepare for the future, but don't be so fixated and obsessed with it that you don't look back on the past, or because you might make the same mistakes that were made in the past, or don't forget about the present, as this segment taught us. And we should mention too, like, I've known people who they call themselves nowists in the sense that they live in the moment. They don't think about the past or the future. They just think about now. And it's like, yes, you should enjoy the present. You should live in the present. But again, you shouldn't neglect the past or the future for the sake of focusing on the present. Again, it's a balancing act between all three of the main phases of time, we'll say. The past, the present, and the future. Balance is the key. And yeah, so bottom line is I did appreciate that they recognized the importance of, yeah, you should prepare for the future, but don't fixate on it and forget about the present or the past for that matter. So I did appreciate that lesson. That was good in my book. And this segment did focus more so on the loud parents. Like, some would debate sweet and sour. I know people debated if the parents were considered more of maybe more the viewpoint characters is the debate, and maybe the spotlight characters. Some debated about that for sweet and sour, but in this segment, I think it's much more clear that, yeah, it's the loud parents who are the viewpoint characters for this segment, and I think they did well with it. Like, the parents did go a little overboard, but they did realize their error, and they did make amends for it, and encourage their kids to have fun again. So I think they were portrayed sympathetically. They were portrayed as well-meaning and good intention, but got too carried away. And yeah, because parents are going to make mistakes too. But they can learn from their mistakes too if they're good parents. And so I did appreciate that. It was recognizing that the parents made some mistakes, but they weren't vilified about it. So I did appreciate that. And the other big part about this segment, one of the big parts, is the Yates family. And well, yeah, like, I know some people didn't like how the Yates family were portrayed as so perfect, although I'm pretty sure that was the point of the segment was. And there was something I did like about the Yates family. Now, at first, I know a lot of fans and viewers were actually worried that the Yates family might be arrogant, condescending, elitist jerks who think they're superior than everyone else because of how perfect or well-rounded they are. But they actually were genuinely nice people. Like, those big smiles on their faces weren't fake, even if they were a bit unsettling. They actually are sincerely nice people with sincerely good intentions. And even at the end of the segment, when they questioned what the point of having fun was, they weren't rude about it or they weren't mean about it. They were just honestly baffled. And when an explanation was given to them, they actually admitted, oh, we didn't take that into consideration, but you have a point there. So again, they were shown to be really nice people. And granted, they only allowed their kids to have 7 minutes worth of fun, but it's a start. I mean, and I think that actually has room for potential. Like, sure, the Yates family were portrayed as being a perfect family, which doesn't exactly make them the most defined characters, but that actually could be a good thing they could do if they bring the Yates family back, is they could have segments with them be where they learn to be where they learn to unwind more, learn to have more fun, and yeah, that could help define them more as characters. If that could be a whole character development for them, they are more willing to let their hair down, so to speak. And so I think there's potential for that. And we'll have to see if they'll bring the Yates family back for season 3, because they don't appear again in season 2. This is their only season 2 appearance, but there is a later segment that mentions the Yates family. It's not a verbal mention, but rather a visual mention. But yeah, the Yates family becoming neighbors with the Loud family, that is something that's they follow up on that At least to an extent. Like I said, it's more of a visual mention of the Yates family, but they do get acknowledged as still being in Royal Woods. And so, yeah, that's actually a good example of the serialized elements of the Loud House, even though it's mostly episodic. The fact that the Yates family are now neighbors to the Loud family. So we know they're still the Loud family's neighbor, thanks to that visual mention of them in a later segment. I'll bring that up when we get to that. So maybe they'll get to appear in season 3. And like I said, the idea of the Yates family learning to have fun more and not always be concerned about being well-rounded or overdoing it, that actually has great potential. So I would like it if they explored that. And we'll have to be patient and see if the Yates family will make their return or not in the future. And let's see. Otherwise, yeah, that's about all I have to say about it. I did enjoy this segment. Like I said, I like the message about balancing the past, the present, and the future. It was nice to have the Loud parents as the viewpoint characters, and we get to see them as good intentioned and admitting when they went too far and owning up to their mistakes. And the Yates family have a lot of potential, so I'm interested if we'll get to see more of them in the future. And there you go. As to be expected, we'll be discussing the B segment next. Take care, and until next time.